Well, good morning. Join me on the banks of local River Ouse. I'm down at Littleport. I'm sat on peg 43. I'm just going to do something a bit different today. Just going to fish a waggler. I'm going to set the slider up, but I've also broke out the vault, something very, very special, which I'll show you in a bit. So first thing, what I'll do, normally I'll do this the evening before, but I'm going to do it on the bank, is mix up some ground bait. Ground baits for the slider line. For the other line I'm going to fish, I'm going to be loose feeding casters and also loose feeding a little bit of hemp, maybe a bit of wheat as well. So for the slider line, a bit of ground bait. Bait Tech Pro Natural Dark. I've already got half a bag in here which I had before. So I'm going to mix up. They're 1.5 kilo bags. So I'll tell you what, we'll bang it all in. We'll put a fair bit of bait in on the slider line today. So I'll just quickly blend that together with my hand. So we've got a nice dry dark mix. With some water. I do a bit at a time. I know roughly how much this takes, and blitz it with a drill. Tip. Straight away I've got a mix which is slightly damp, a bit more, blitz that again. There, we've got a mix there straight away that we can make into a ball. But I'm going to leave that stand around about 20 minutes, half an hour, and then I'll come back to it. But like I say, you can squeeze that into a ball, a couple of squeezes, that's nice and hard, it'll break down. But I'm going to leave that now, like I say, 20 minutes, half hour, and I'll come back to it and I'll fine tune it just how I want it. I'll riddle it off, and I'll get the rest of the gear ready, and we'll go through that just before we start fishing. Right, it's been about 20 minutes, half an hour. As you can see now, it's dried out, you can't even make a ball out of it. So, I'm going to dampen it down again, give it a good blitz. So you squeeze that, it breaks down. Similar amount again. That should be just right. There you go. One squeeze, it's already formed. That's nice and hard, but that'll break down easily as well. So all we do now is put that through a riddle. Oh, ever prepared me. So we're just going to bang that through a riddle. Just push those lumps through. Beautiful morning. So just push a bit through. You're always going to have a little bit left over. Put that one in there. There we go. That is the finished mix, all riddled off, as you can see there. A couple of squeezes, got a nice rock hard ball that's going to get straight to the bottom. On the slider line I'm probably going to put in around about 8, that sort of size, with some casters in. Then on the other line I'm going to be loose feeding, and it's also going to double up fishing shallow on the slider line. But I'm going to carry on setting the gear up. We'll go through it just before I start fishing. Here we are, we're all set up now, ready to go. I've already plumbed up the slider line, which I'm going to be fishing about a third the way out. It's round about sort of 15 foot deep, just over 15 foot deep, 15, 16, lay on a little bit. I've also set another waggler rod up, which I'm going to be fishing about 2 foot shallower than that. So I've already put in round about 10 balls, sort of that sort of size, with some caster. See the mixer, I did it earlier, Pro Natural Dark. Put some caster in it. The water's not moving at the moment. I mean, it was backing up a little bit, might just be starting to trip through a little bit, so I've literally put them dead in front of me. So for that I'm fishing a Cadence 14 foot number 1. I've got a CS8 reel, I've got 6 pound mainline, and I'm fishing a MAS slider, carbon slider. That's a 10 gram, which is a 2 gram of loading, so 8 gram down the line. So I've got 6 gram Olivet. I've got my liner shot that I like to use. I've got length of fluorocarbon, quick change swivel, and on there I've got an 011 down to a size 16 Preston 344. I've got 2 stop knots. Might be able to see them. So I've got 2 stop knots there, as you can see. The orange one is almost like the backup, if you like, but I like to have 2 so I can move the one up and down, and the other one will stay exactly where it is, so I always know where my depth is. It's also worth sort of making a mental note when the hook's on there, roughly what rod ring that the stop knot sits at. So this one today is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rings from the tip. So I know if anything happens, if I lay it on or have any issues, I know that as long as that stop knot's 7 from the tip, the hook's in the keeper ring, I know I'm going to be the right depth. So that's that one. And when I said I was breaking something out the vault, I broke this beauty out. This is it's not a Cadence rod, it's a rod I've had for a while. It's a reactor light. Don't own many 13 foot rods, so I always like to keep the odd 1 or 2. But I just thought I'd try something different today. So the biggest thing that I'm actually going to give an airing to is this little beauty here. And for those who know that this reel is years and years old. I mean, this reel's older than me. I mean, I'm 46 this year. This reel's older than me. And that is an Abu 501. When I first started fishing, when my dad was teaching me on the Avon, everybody was using closed face reels. So I was taught to fish with a closed face reel. That time then I was using a Dial 120M. Then I managed to pick up myself a couple of 501s. My dad still got some as well. River anglers know this is like the holy grail of reels. Absolutely brilliant. So like I say, I've put some fresh line on it today. And why this is also a little bit different, I'm going to fish on here a fixed waggler. But I'm going to be fishing a big waggler. And if Mike Atherton watches this video, he'll probably fall over and he'll say, Christ, Steve's fishing a big waggler. Now, a lot of people, I know Adrian does from Bennett Sports, and I know Mike did, they actually fished it on a paternoster. But I've got a nice long waggler there. I mean, that's probably, what, 1.5 foot long. That's actually it's a drake, and it's 2.5 AA loading, so it's 2 gram of loading. It's 1.5 down the line, so I've got a couple of locking shot there. Ba, ba, ba. It's always good to do something different. So down the line, I've got 4 number 6 shot. Down below that, I've got 3 number 9 shot, just there. And down below that, I've got the quick change swivel, and I've got 09 down to a Preston size 16 333. I'm going to fish that on the same line as the slider. The slider's for fishing on the bottom over that ground bait, but I'm going to be loose feeding some hemp, some castor over the top. So I've got some hemp there, so we're loose feeding that over the top. Got some casters. Just lay that down, that's it, yeah. Got some casters there. Get that one out. Couple of floaters, get rid of them. Got some casters. I've got a few maggots, don't tend to fish the maggot, but I've also got some wheat. I had this to soak. It's wheat and corn mix I'll get from the local pet shop. I had 3 big scoops. I've got a massive bag at home, probably that sort of size, and that was less than £2. So I'll put this to soak on Sunday morning, and as you can see, that's nice and soft. But you don't want to loose feed a lot of that, because that will fill those fish up as quick as anything. So what I'm going to be doing is loose feeding a few casters, loose feeding 1 or 2 bits of that, bit of hemp, with the hope that I might actually catch on it on the other rod, a couple of foot off the bottom, even 3 foot off the bottom, and see if we can get 1 or 2 roach. Well, like I say, we've already put a bit of bait in. There's your swim. Beautiful. Like I say, I'm going to be fishing about a third the way out. That water's just starting to move now. So I'll put that ground bait in. I'll be fishing about a third the way out. I'll start my slider. I'm just going to start on my mate Ian's favourite bait, double caster. I actually messaged Ian last night and sort of said, look, you know, I'm thinking about having a go at Littleport. Didn't know whether I was going to go on the cut-off channel, fish the waggler on there. Too much weed. So I came back down here and sort of messaged Ian last night, said, what do you reckon? And he said, there's a lot of fish in the 40s. He said, if I was going, that's where I'd sit. And Ian knows how to fish this water better than anybody. Ian and Aid have fished it all the lives, and I listen to what they got to say, because what they don't know about the river ain't really worth knowing. So Ian said, go in the 40s, so I'm sat on 43. Ian's favourite bait, double caster. It's a disease, and here we go, first cast on the slider. So I'll cast that out down to just past the middle, sink the rod tip, and just pay the line out till that float hits the stop knot. That's it. So that float hit the stop knot, and that will gradually, casters gradually falling through the water. And hopefully we might get 1 or 2 roach. That water is just starting to move a little tiny bit. The wind, I think, is probably pushing it through. There's a little bit of a breeze. There's been 1 or 2 fish topping as well. It's probably a little bit bright, but there's also an outside chance of a bream, maybe a tench. There's a tiny tinge in the water. So we'll see. Makes a change just to get the rods out. I had to go on the pole the other week on the cut-off, which was nice, but a bit different. It just makes a change just to come out, a few hours, just fish a waggler. Get 1 or 2 roach, a couple of little skimmers, better roach there. That beautiful fish. Lovely roach. Something for everybody on the river at the moment. You can fish the feeder, catch a few skimmers, odd bream, fish chop worm, perch and chance of a tench, fish the whip, the pole, the waggler. Sort of coming into the better months now, around about another couple of weeks and the river is probably going to be at its best. Sort of size I've been catching them. It's got it down him, so I think they could even be off the bottom already. So I'm just gonna now, just to try that other rod. So this is about a couple of foot off bottom, 2 foot, 3 foot off bottom, something like that. Been loose feeding a few casters, bit of hemp, so they could well, with this sun, be up off the bottom already. Long time since I've actually fished a big waggler. Just fishing single caster at the moment. This. A few boats about. first fish on the old setup. Only a little roach, but hopefully one of many more to come. So all I'm doing is say about a dozen grains of hemp over the top, a couple of casters, a couple of bits of wheat, little bolt there. Feels really strange using this little reel. So used to using fixed spool. It's only a little bobby thing, and yeah. Rolling back the ears a little bit. So that's all I'm putting out hemp wise. Hardly anything in the pouch at all. About half a dozen casters as well. Missed that one. Got it right down him, so probably might even shallow up a little bit more. Sort of one or two more casts and see how we go. I've normally swung that, but light hook lengths isn't worth the risk. Actually had that on a bit of hemp. Sort of search through, find the right piece of hemp, and all I do is puncture the feed end. Stick the hook in that hole. And feed the hook point through the split, like so. So today we've caught on the wheat, we've caught on the maggot, we've caught on the caster, and caught on the hemp. About a dozen grains over the top. Just gone back over to the slider now it's running. I'm picking up 1 or 2 fish. See, just fishing maggot. Fishing a single maggot. Still feeding them. Skimmer. Surprised there hasn't been any pike about. Nor the silverfish. So just keep the hemp going in. So just single maggot. There's always that chance of a bit bigger fish as well when it's running. Or a leaf as you go through. I'm actually going to do as well, just go a little bit deeper. matter how big the fish are, as long as you catch it. Quite a bit of pace on the river now. Just shows that a variety of methods and hook baits can keep the fish coming. Really picked up now. As you see there, it's blowing through quite a fair bit now. Compared to being stationary. A bit better roach that, and better swing that one. And better swing that one. Beautiful fish. I've had no more ground bait on that line at all. It's all been everything from the initial feed, and just with the hemp and the castor and wheat over the top. Roach. So yeah, it just shows that just by chopping and changing, keep the fish coming. You must remember to keep that hemp going in. That's the most important. little skimmer on the wheat. So they're not big fish, but it's nice to catch fish whatever you're doing, whatever the size. Lovely dumpy fish. Well, we've just about got to the end of the session now, and still picking up 1 or 2 roach. Not had a massive amount of fish, probably had got about 10 or 12 pound, but had a lot of bites, and we've ended up fishing old school, running a waggler down the middle on an old school reel. Caught a maggot, caster, hemp, wheat. Just about caught on everything. Every bait I brought with me, they'll got me tray I've caught on. Get 1 or 2 on the wheat, then that sort of disappears a little bit, and go back on the maggot. So I've been on the maggot probably now for about half hour. So I'll have a quick go on the wheat before we finish. I've been feeding a little bit, sort of straight in front of me. It's been gorgeous. Just nice to come out and do something different that you wouldn't normally do. Go. Fish on the wheat. Say they're not. You can't really distinguish the fish in, you know, the size of the fish between the maggot, caster, wheat. They're all sort of the same sort of stamp really. I've 1 or 2 better ones, but they're all almost like peas in a pod. beautiful fish. Like I say, it's coming into the time now, sort of next month, next few weeks into the next month, when, you know, if you're going to get some bumper roach catches on the ouse, then's the time. So it's strange to get one or two on that wheat, and that's gone all the way through there, and that's not had a single indication on it. Let's see if we can get one more. And that'll be your lock cock. Oh, that was a quick bite. Probably shouldn't have struck at it, but someone's just mouthing it. Oh. Nice little push button. Ding. There we go. Roach to finish. It was a little bit bigger. There we go. And that is a beautiful fish to end the session with. Lovely roach. There you go. A little bit of old school, don't hurt nobody. It's been brilliant here on the ouse at Littleport, catching roach on the waggler, trotting it down the middle, A little bit of old school don't hurt nobody. Remember, old school's cool. I'll catch you next time on the bank. Oosh.